We're ready.
Ready. So we're going to verses 81. Mary, please.
I'm here today, right on time. Hold on. Oh. No, I'm not. You're going to have to go to somebody else. Oh, no, wait a minute. I've got it, I think. Yeah. All right. 81, right?
Yes.
Always being motivated by great aspirations or being motivated by the remedial forces. If I work in the fields of excellence, benefit and misery, virtues will come about. This one is kind of a bridge between the one about when you behold anyone, etc. And it's talking about aspiration should be your motivation. And the remedial forces that they're referring to are the antidotes to negativity, such as the 6 paramitas and meditations and so forth. And practicing these antidotes to negativity are what's recommended. If you work in the field of excellence, sort of means when you're practicing Dharma. You mentioned trying to benefit your parents and trying to benefit beings who are sick or otherwise in misery. So that will bring great virtues.
Great, Mary.
Did I cover it all?
First, so the always means like we always practicing. That is become more powerful all the time practice. And then motivation, of course, bodhicitta.
Right.
Yeah. And you did already this remedial forces is antidote.
Mm-hmm.
Use this 6 paramita and all the practices, different ways, antidote to our emotions. So fields of excellence is object, power of object is Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You do some offering or do something, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is excellence. Then parents, you did correct, and then someone who's sick and who's suffering, so you benefit them with this virtue will come about. Great virtuous deeds. Okay, so now the next one. Any question?
Yes, I have, Kempo. I
Yes.
just got in just to put a question. The verse 84 says, when this is well understood, I should always strive for the welfare of others. The far-seeing, merciful ones have allowed a Bodhisattva to do some actions that for others were forbidden. Could you give any example of the actions that can be forbidden for common people and could be allowed for a Bodhisattva?
Okay, so we go to that when that comes section, so we can discuss in there. Okay, it's 84, right? You're talking about 84 verses 84. Yeah. So
84 that you taught today.
Wait a minute. So we get there, so then we can discuss on that part. And now we go to the 82. 82, Debe, please, can you read Debe Jackson?
Okay. 82. Endowed with wisdom and joy, I should undertake all that I do. I need not depend upon anyone else in any actions that I undertake. So when you talked about this one, Kempo, I believe that you said to practice this text and to practice, we needed to have wisdom. We needed to have effort and be joyous effort, and faith and devotion. And when we practice with patience and bodhicitta and this joyous effort, we don't necessarily need to rely upon someone else, because as we rely on others, it is difficult to create virtuous deeds. So this is why we learn to study with wisdom. And the more that we practice and learn and study, the more wisdom arises. And then I was also looking at this too. And when it says, I need not depend upon anyone else, I don't know. I wondered too, is, this, I think was, I think from here on, then he talks, this was like kind of the collection of virtue. And we don't, as a bodhisattva, we don't want to get competitive with other bodhisattvas and say, hey, I'm getting more virtue than you're getting more virtue. So we don't really need someone else. We just need to focus on what we're doing and the virtuous activities that we're collecting, and not comparing and looking at others for that.
Yeah, so the main point is just practice the Dharma, like we, right now we know how to do, how to practice. So not like say, oh, please, can you do for me? I don't know how to do. So you have to learn how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
that is like we study this way of a Bodhisattva, it's not dependent upon anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a say someone is like right now it's an example, like whole life is Buddhist, but when they're ready to dissolution, they don't know anything about, even they don't know really who's Buddha, Amitabha, where it's going. So just they say I'm Buddhist, but they really don't know how to anything. So that's kind of, like then dependent on others. Right now we are here, we don't meditate, we do put our effort. So we study, we put effort, and then, we have gain wisdom, we know what we have to do. Okay, so now next one, 83.
Before we go there, I have a question on that myself.
Yes.
We take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So now I'm wondering, how does the Sangha help us? If we should be able to depend on the Sangha, right? How do we rely or depend? How do we depend upon the Sangha? Probably a dumb question, but I popped into my mind, and I don't know the answer.
So Sangha, like example, we are become big Sangha, so we can help for others, right? If not depending for others, you can help others. If you are depending others, you cannot help anyone others. And Sangha means like, it's just that part is like, it's so many different kind of levels. So it's refuge Sangha is like Bodhisattva, absolute truth Bodhisattvas, not just ordinary beings. So then we are called Sangha is a relative truth Sangha, relative truth Bodhisattvas. So we have to practice. Sangha means we have to practice. When we practice the Dharma, we have to know how to practice the Dharma. And then you can help for others. That's your question? Or?
Well, close. That's I'll let it go for now. Okay, I'll think about it.
Think about the Sangha is the same as a nurse. So Buddha is the same as the doctor. Dharma is the same as a medicine. So then you need a doctor, you need a medicine, but some patients need a nurse to support, right? Doctor always not taking care, no time to do for benefit. for patience. Okay, so I think that's where it's go away. Okay, that one.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you.
So then 83 is Thomas, please, 83.
Yes, Kempo. The perfections, such as generosity, are progressively more exalted. But for a little morality, I should not forsake a great gift. Principally, I should consider what will be of the most benefit for others. Excuse me. On the sixth part of Mita's, generosity is the first one. And we shouldn't forsake it, but as we learn more and realize that right above generosity is morality. Morality is more important than generosity. But also depending upon the situation of the matter of what the person needs or to benefit others. We should provide what they are needed and what will benefit them the most. So when practicing and depending, it all depends on the situation. So if that person or if they needed generosity, then we should provide generosity, but realize that our morality is, well, it is more important, and above that would be patience, and above that would be joyful effort, and then meditation, and then wisdom. So it progresses on and on.
Okay, so everyone okay that one, right? This 83, 84, most important, usually the court for when we share the teaching, often use these two, because sometimes we get confused. We think, oh, we can do or not. So think these words so you know what should you do. You know, sometimes like we think, oh, this is always most important. Not always like that. It's dependent. So that Buddha and Shantideva accepted how to do these things. No, complicated way. Okay, so then 84. Maria, can you read 84?
Yes, Kempo. When this is well understood, I should always strive for the welfare of others. The far-seeing merciful ones have allowed a Bodhisattva to do some actions that for others were forbidden.
Mm.
And I don't know what this exactly means, to do some actions that for others were forbidden. That's my question.
Okay. Sandra, can you explain?
I remember you told the story of the.
Can you hear?
Sorry. You told the story of the ship captain who could tell that one of his passengers intended to kill everyone on board, like 900 people.
Yes.
And so he killed that person to save the others, and really maybe to save the would-be murderer, right? From doing such a bad thing.
Exactly, yeah.
And so you have to be like a bodhisattva to be able to do this, that regular people can't do this type of thing. So for him, it wasn't really a bad action, or her, whichever bodhisattva that was. But for us, it would be a problem.
Yes.
I have a question on that one too, Kempo. So would that be like when a teacher points out to you your anger? Like sometimes they'll say something that will point out to you your negativity that maybe is like not, only they can really do that. Is that similar?
Oh, I see. Teacher point for the students your negativity.
Yeah, like they know you and they know certain things that make you, that is your, stored anger or something, and you can't see it. So, but maybe they say something they know will make you bring that out, but they know that they're teaching you enough that you'll be able to recognize that they're not trying to hurt you. They're just trying to show you your anger. Is that like similar?
Yes, but that's actually all this way of Bodhisattva and the 37 practices like that, pointing our problems. All this practices like that. But this is like kind of more action, you're doing something.
Well, maybe they could do it in like a wrathful way. They would have permission to do it in a wrathful way. Is that an example?
So actually something, that kind of like the Buddha didn't say you don't do, that you should do the teachers. The teachings means like you have to show the point, the problems, and you have to show the negative, what you have, like, okay, this is your wake, you don't have enough this part, they have to tell that. But here is like, the main point is something Buddha said don't do, but some reasons, some Bodhisattva has more skillful, they can do that. So that means like you don't always think, oh, Buddha said don't do. They can do some, if you use something different method skillfully. Yeah. So example, like monks like don't teach one by one for women like that, right, in here. So this the Shariputra, he talked to many women like one by one. So that's also no causes of like, negative is become, he benefited them. So that is of course some method, skillful method who has. Okay. So that's, you get Maria? So something like, if say don't care this someone something, so if you have really ability to transform that person is humming for others, you can care that person. They also like, you have to save that person free from lower realms. That kind of, you need intention and you need skillful power. You must have to have something power for your practice to do that. And some things like causes of suffering, like causes of desire, attachment, but some don't go to that direction. They can change that, so they can do that. So Buddha says like beginners don't do, but some this kind Bodhisattva can do that. Okay. Same is like, okay, during the alcohol, usually in the beginners, Buddha said don't drink, but this who has realized something like more they can use for the practice, the drink is no problem for them. So that is for them to have permission to do that. Okay. So then,
Can I ask a question there?
yes.
How do you know when you have the permission to do something different? And it seems like, it's self-development and you're learning and getting, becoming more virtuous and so forth and so on, and gaining more wisdom along the way. So the individual knows when they are able to do it all by themselves?
Yeah, of course, they knows that when the situations sees that clearly which is a benefit.
So so it's a self-understanding based on where their development, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
They recognize what they should do. We know
Okay.
what we can do. You know, some like this. Even in the teachings, they don't do, but some situations when you get there, you can see, oh, the better to do. You know, I can help these people. Or something you can feel, you can recognize. Long as like see motivation, bodhicitta, then it's you can do. The object is not always the case. So object, like Buddha said, don't touch that, but long as you have a compassion, you can touch, you can benefit someone, you can touch it like that, you know? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So a question to Kempo, maybe, and this kind of follows up with what you just said. So in the case that, I mean, I understand the story with the Buddha. He had clairvoyance and he understood that that person was going to kill the 900 people. But in the case of, like, if one day we came across somebody shooting people and we're in our car and they're raising their gun and they're going to kill all these people, and we make that decision to run them over. I mean, I don't have any abilities, but I'm certainly trying to create him, I don't want to see him harm others, So sometimes that can happen where you may harm or cause harm, to save someone else. And this is not what that's talking about then. This is more related to an ability, a level of a bodhisattva, not just our normal reaction out of saying, stop, you can't do that. Am I understanding that correctly? Or
I didn't get it 100%, but you mean that someone going to shoot a gun for you recognize that someone going to kill many people, so you run car over for that person, you mean?
yeah, right. I mean, it happens sometimes, like maybe you're driving your car and all of a sudden somebody's in the road and they're aim their gun and they're going to shoot a bunch of people. And I mean, I don't think it would probably not even be, it's not like I would be a thought. You would just naturally would say, I have to stop this, so you would kind of do what you needed to do that, but you would create harm, maybe death, but your intention would only to help.
Intention, what they recognize, then that actually that kind of person is like that give up them, and because you see someone going to kill so many people use the gun and you run over there. If you don't run that, you are safe because you can drive go away, but you don't do that, you just run over that person and save many other people. So that's is like, see, it's intention great. So then we don't know the whole like dependent, or has like lots of like one action, but people has different intentions, change different. We don't know anything.
I see. Okay.
As long as you know your intentions are correct, you can do that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I hope I never have to do that, but I just was using that as an example.
So not only like that kind of big things, but some many things, situations, like some say many things like, okay, you have talked about like giving things generosity, or you always think, oh, I have to give. Some reasons don't give. Not giving is better than giving, So the giving, because you recognize, oh, it's great to do that. I want to help them, that person. That's why I don't. Yeah.
But
Like good,
Temple,
also you can like, usually we say you have to do that, but there are some reasons like you have to stop that. You have to stop that. Yes.
but when you really have to win over that person to stop him to kill other people, you have to know that your mind is not have any bad tension or hate that person. you have to have to know that no matter what, if you take a life, you have to accept the consequence. So you have to have really a high level of mind to say that I am going to run you over and kill you. I'm sorry. And I know that because by this action, I might go to hell realm, but I accept that consequence. Then you can do it. And you have to know that you don't have hatred for that person. Isn't it?
Yes, correct. Great, Loming. Thank you. So that's like someone think, oh, I do that, become a famous. People make me like, oh, he's a hero. He did a great job. So you have that kind of expectation. It's no virtuous deeds. Okay, so the main point is like object is not important. What object says don't do this. We have object of anger, we have object of attachment, we have object of desire, like so many things, objects. So come to the intention, pick up the intention is more important. So something like we have already we talked so many here. Don't do this, so many things. But there all is one term is like dependent come to your mind is you can change. Okay, so now we go to the 85. 85. David, can you read David?
Hey, Kempo.
Yes, can you read? Yes.
Yes. 85. I should divide my food among those who have fallen to the lower realms, those without protection and practitioners, and eat merely what is sufficient for myself, except for the 3 robes I may give away all. That one is that we had to share and we had to help others, no matter where realms they are, and try to protect them, and also, use what we need to stay alive and help others. But if we have other things that we can share, we're going to share with other people. And the last one you said that is more for the monastery, that they need to have 3 robes. But if they have extra robes, they can share. And that was the main topic, was that give to others, but you have to maintain something to be alive and provide the service to others. But it's important to try to help everybody. It doesn't matter where they are.
Thank you.
No problema, Kempo.
Yes, do a good job.
Thank you. I wake up. Thank you, Kempo. I need it.
EDG, can you read the 86?
Sure. 86, okay. This body, which is being used for the sacred Dharma, should not be harmed for only slight benefit. By my behaving in this way, the wishes of all beings will be quickly fulfilled. So we don't want to give up our body because it's needed to be able to practice, and we always need to have good intention with whatever we give up, and whatever we give up, we should have no regret.
Okay, so that's good. Thank you, IDG.
Sure.
I had a question about this one though, Kempo.
Okay.
I thought you said that people, to give your body up, that it was kind of, you had to be practically on the first boomy yourself to give your life up. And thinking about all the people who are first responders, soldiers, people who do sacrifice themselves to benefit their other people, did they not get credit for that? Or, you know what I mean? I mean, isn't that a Bodhisattva thing, even though they're probably not first Bhumi level?
Depending the soldiers, they really wanted to protect freedom, others, then they give up the body. So that is the sacrifice. Of course, there's credit too, credit. Yeah, is that just want like to fight and then just angrily die and that cannot protect themselves, they dies like that is different, right? Each
Yeah.
situation has different intentions. Intention makes a different change. If you go to army, like first say, oh, I wanted to go to army, wanted to protect these people, country. Reason is like you really see, oh, this country is important because freedom, right? And so that kind of you think peace, you're going to protect for peace, freedom, and or then you think it's something special benefit. So then give up is different. Just sound like ignoringly like goes army and they die there is they also they don't really give up their body but just accidentally dead there.
Okay.
It's a motivation change, you know, make motivations dependent. But really you can give a body means like for the benefit, okay, someone asks you give me, not just fight to die, right?
Well,
Someone
I was thinking of somebody who was in a position where he was trying to save a fellow soldier or something like that. And
yeah, so that time
went
is so first these people like that, oh, I'm going to die, save these people. Not many have hard to think that way, but when you get situations, then there's some courage people does that. Save others, they're just willing to sacrifice. So of course, they give a body there for the others.
right.
So long as they have a good motivation, and then of course they benefit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. 87. 87. Tom, can you read 87?
87. Those who lack the pure intention of compassion should not give up their body, should not give their body away. Instead, both in this and in future lives, they should give it to the cause of fulfilling the great purpose. Well, the purpose of life for a Buddhist or someone who's taken refuge in the Buddha would be to fulfill the great purpose of enlightenment so they can be of benefit to people. So that pretty much sums up that unless you have that great intention of compassion that you're trying, you know, that you're working on the path to enlightenment, you should not give something that you're not prepared to give at that time. No?
Yes, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
So now 88. 88. Evia, can you read 88? 88.
The Dharma should not be explained by those who explained to those who lack respect, to those who, like sick men, wear cloth around their heads, to those holding umbrellas, sticks, or weapons, to those with covered heads. And this one made me smile because I didn't understand it. But it's basically saying that from what you explained, I think you shouldn't explain the Dharma to people who aren't appreciating it because it's not a benefit to them. You shouldn't push it on people because they don't need it. It's doing them harm.
Mm.
And then it was kind of a cultural thing, you know, wearing cloths around their head. Maybe they're not listening to you.
Yes.
Umbrellas, maybe it was like a cultural thing you were saying back then. That those
Yes.
type of people maybe weren't open to Dharma. People who have sticks or weapons are like maybe going to attack you or be violent. So maybe they don't want to hear Dharma. And then probably covered heads, I think you were saying, is like a cultural thing. Like maybe those people weren't necessarily interested in India during that time. Is that right, Kempo?
Yeah. So yeah, this stick and or weapons, then they're just who holding these things. That means like you cannot have these things in your body, like when you listen and teaching.
Mm.
Not really harming for the someone teacher. Yeah. Okay. So now go to the 89. David Connor, 89, please.
Sure, but I have a question first. What's with the umbrellas? Do you know?
Umbrella is like just usually their shows are an important person.
Yeah, I wasn't. Oh, it was interesting. Okay, on 89 is nor to a woman unaccompanied by a man. The vast and profound should not be taught to lesser beings, although I should always pay equal respect to the dharmas of lesser and higher beings. So, again, you mentioned that this was a monastic community, and so you wanted to reinforce that don't have a man or a woman alone, because even though everything is fine, it is, you know, culturally not appropriate. And it's actually funny because when I went to Tarrantine and stayed in the nunnery, you know, we all had breakfast together, the monks that were teaching and the nuns, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can't sit next to me." And it's just something that I would never have thought of because I'm in the United States. You know, we just think about it really differently. So that makes me think about that. That one. And then that's 89, right? Also for people of low capacity, just share the basics. So if people are interested, again, but Buddhism is really complex and nuanced. And so when you talk about, I don't talk a lot about it. And when I talk to people who aren't Buddhist or really interested, but they're asking me about it, you know, in very simple, basic terms. Sometimes I'll talk about what the Dalai Lama has talked about in talks, you know, people wanting happiness, and very like basic so that they'll get the respect, but they won't get confused. But those people, no matter what capacity, you should always treat people with equal respect.
Okay, David, finish. Sometimes like yeah, your voice is like stuck there, like no coming out.
Did you not hear?
We heard, but some just your voice is like some part is cutting, right?
Yeah, okay. Is this better?
Yeah.
Should I do it all over again?
No, we already got it. Thank you. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So yeah, it's this also like followed by culture and something like, you know, causes of attachment, causes of anger, then shouldn't do that. So that's the Shantideva said. And then main point is like you have to follow by culture and also respect equally, you know, Dharma respect, people respect equally everything. So it's also they have like culturally thing about, you know, and you go to like example Thailand, like some like that countries like monk cannot really shake hands to woman anyone. And if in US, like come to like couple together, so you handshake only men, don't handshake the woman. So that's also not great too. So people feel it's not equal right. So that's like, you know, also followed by just you have to know the where you are, what you're doing. You have to know that. So otherwise, like, or it's become created problems. You know, people seeing that is then criticize something, and so that's the main point. Is we have to understanding. Yeah, main important is equal right. Yeah. some like area, like even your mind have equal, but you cannot do that. So example, like you are in example, I was in Thailand or somewhere in Tibet. My mind cannot have like men and women, like, you know, bias and not equal, but mine must be have equal, but your handshake is only me. So otherwise there people think is not great. And as long as you are in the Western country, you have to handshake both, because otherwise people think you incorrect too. So that kind of you have to understand and follow.
Kempo,
Yes, sir.
question. When you're teaching Dharma to a person, I guess, or if somebody wants to ask you a question about Dharma, you start talking to them and realize that they're taking it negatively, then you should stop. Because also, by allowing them to have a negative thought about Dharma, aren't they planting a negative seed in karma? Aren't they creating negative karma for themselves? So, as a practitioner, we shouldn't allow that to happen, right?
Can you say again?
Say if somebody wants to know something about Dharma, and then you start telling that person about Dharma, and then you realize that person is not accepting it, or you can see there's negative emotion going on. They're thinking negatively about the Dharma or negatively about Buddhism.
Yeah, that
That's
person, that kind of person will come to ask questions.
sometimes they're curious. Oh, they're curious sometimes. And
They have a doctor, so you have to clarify that.
yes. But also, as you know, as a Buddhist,
Questions, like you can give answer, then just like whatever the negative thoughts, or just let them have. You know, we can give answer for them long as they have asked question.
yeah, because you know, I just don't want them to plant that negative karma, you know, a negative seed of karma.
They cannot stop that negative thoughts, right? But as long as they ask questions, so that means they're open mind, wanted to know. So then you have a chance to share, right?
That's right. That's right.
So usually, who have that kind of negative thoughts, they don't ask question. That don't come to you to talk with you, right?
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now we go to 90. Aminda, please, can you read 90?
Yes, Kimbo. 90. I should not communicate the Dharma of a lesser being to one who is a vessel for the vast Dharma. I must not forsake the Bodhisattva way of life or mislead others by means of sutras or mantras. I think this means I think this means that I should not communicate the Dharma of a lesser being to one who is a vessel for the vast Dharma. In other words, don't give Hinayana teachings for those who are fit for Vajrayana. Is that correct?
Yes.
For Vajrayana teaching.
Yeah.
And then I must not forsake the Bodhisattva way of life, nor mislead others by means of sutras or mantras. Well, you can never forsake the Bodhisattva way of life, and you have to protect and take care of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. No one must lead others by means of sutras or mantras. You have to have respect for all three baskets. I don't think one is less than the other. And never give up our Bodhisattva conduct. Is that correct? I feel like I'm missing something on this one.
Yeah, the no mislead is, so you say, oh, Vajrayana, say chant Vajrasava mantras, oh, you purify your karma, you don't have to do anything. So that kind of mislead.
Right. Yeah.
And saying something, oh, you do this, become you get something. So follow by words, like just it's get the meaning, the quality is depending really person doing correctly or not, right? But not only to follow the words.
Right.
For example, like,
Yes.
oh, you practice Vajrakalaya, you can subdue all this your enemies. Misleads.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So mislead other by means of sutra or mantra. The main point is you have to know the person's ability and then share the teaching. So someone is Mahayana capacity means like who can help for benefit others. Then just you put only the teaching sharing is like only benefit their own. That's incorrect. And then the person, when you share the teaching, like some mislead, of course, you chant 100 mantras, you get this kind of quality or something, you get power or something you can get. So that kind of mislead.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. And then 91.
I have a question. But isn't it true that that you can like do things like that? That people like, isn't there some very, very high practitioners that like control weather and stuff, or is that a lie?
Yeah, but the control the Yumi weathers.
I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I've been told that some practices, some very advanced practitioners can like make it rain or something like that.
Yeah, but see, the prayers all say like, okay, this prayer is for rain coming prayer. And then the prayer is rain coming prayer, but who can do that rain come? So I telling, okay, you do this, rain is coming. See, this prayer says you do this, rain is coming. If the person does that, but rain is not comes, what happened? The person get, and
I see what you mean, Kempo.
lose devotions. But then who has like ability, person can do that, but then they use that sadhana practice, they can rain come.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you, Kempo.
Yeah.
Kempo, I have a question about the last passage actually. What about when someone tries to convert you to their, like that's happened to me recently, but a few times, like they think, oh, like you really need to hear the gospel, and I like already am Buddhist and I'm not going to convert to a different religion. Like, how should I respond? What about that?
That is have to come from decision their own. Yeah. Shanti Deva said, don't forcing people here, right? If they're not ready to listen to Dharma, so then don't forcing. So that means like, you have to give answer from your mind. You make decision and you seeing, okay, I like the Buddha's teaching. So then I say, so you have make decision that then you say, okay, I'm not going to do that. So also like individuals, see, some people, if you are know the Buddha's teaching, you know the others' teachings, all this, you know the teachings, you go to others' teachings, nothing wrong. But you recognize, you know what is difference is. That's the reason like we're going to, in this chapter 9 is like all the other religions, ancient time religions and the Buddhists is investigating, comparing. So which is right, which is correct.
Well,
As long as you
I-
have wisdom, you have wisdom, then you can go to learn others, but you never lost your path. But someone like going to easily change, then that person needed to stay like one better. Don't go to others, like, you know.
Well, how can I be kind about that? Because I know they want to help me. Really, their intention is to help me, you know, but my answer is no. So how do I respond?
So they wanted to help you, they accept, yes. So accept, but you don't have what you're doing is which is benefit you. You don't have to change that, right? So example, someone asked me to come to church, they're really pushing me, I'll go. That means I'm not just changing what I'm doing. I'm not giving up what I'm doing, but I'm just go for make them just okay for them. You know, I also just can see what they're doing, learn something. Some people doesn't do that. Well, I just can go, it's no problem. You know, some like Christians or Muslims, doesn't matter whose religion, someone asked me, okay, can you come to join with us? Like, it's great. I say, okay, just go there, do that, you know, long as no harming for others. But that means you don't have to change. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't need, okay. So I can just listen and accept that. And
then someone say, oh, if you come to me and then you have to give up everything, what are you doing? Then I say, no, thank you.
Right.
So they say, okay, come with us. I can help you do something. He said, you see what I'm doing. So I say, okay, just go there and log check, do. No problem.
Thank you.
So that's it, Dalai Lama doing all the time. So he go to the Muslims, he go to Christians, wherever there he goes, giving the teachings. He never give up his practice, what he doing, you know. But he make fair connections. Everyone is like just happy each other, connections each other, and more, you know, haramane each other. So that's where he does. So you don't have to say like, oh, no, I'm Buddhist, I cannot go your place, I don't listen to you. So that is too strong, right? So other also say, oh, you come with me, then you can't, you have to must give up others. That's also too strong. Don't go to two extremes. Give up both. So accept middle way. Okay, so now we go to the next one. Okay, Naomi, please, can you chant the 91? Do you have a sadhana?
Sounded like maybe she's driving, Kempo, maybe.
Oh no, he's not driving, he's home. You are mute.
If I were aware of, is this right? If I were aware of what held meaning for me, what value would I find in these things? If all I want is a little mental happiness, I should devote myself to gambling, drinking, and so forth.
Maybe wrong chapter.
I think you're on the wrong chapter.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. That's funny.
Wait, let's get the chapter 5. Okay, so you come
Yeah,
next one.
another red chapter. Sorry. What
So
page?
Modifu, can you read the Modifu? Can you read the 91? Modifu, Martin.
Rodolfo, yes, of course.
Yep. Do you have a 91?
Yep.
Okay, please, can you read that one?
Okay. When it's on mute, okay. When I spit or throw away the stick for cleaning my teeth, I should cover it up with earth. Also, it is shameful to urinate and so forth in water or in land used by others. Basically, it's respect for others and be polite. Yeah.
No, make the dirty for the, someone using things, right?
You know, in the land or clean water, which is using for maybe for other people or animals, or I don't know.
Someone using things, we just don't damage or create dirty. Okay. So now 92. Naomi, are you ready? Not yet, yeah. 92.
Yes. When eating, I should not fill my mouth. Eat noisily or with my mouth wide open. I should not sit with my legs outstretched nor rub my hands together.
Can you explain?
Yeah, I should be polite, and I should be careful to make my actions so that they allow others to keep their minds at peace.
Yeah, this is more talking about the eating, yeah. So
well, also not being greedy.
Yeah, 91 is more talking about taking care of the environment. And this one, when you're going, 92 is when you're eating time, so you take care, other people's mind, polite for others. So Hermione, can you read the 83? 93, sorry, 93. Hermione Santo. Can you hear?
Ernie Susanto? Ernie Susanto?
I don't know if you can hear. Okay, so Lisa, can you read the 93?
Yes. I should not sit alone in vehicles, upon beds, nor in the same room with the women of others. In brief, having observed or inquired about what is proper, I should not do anything that would be disliked by the people of the world. So this morning we talked about just not doing crazy things and have poor conduct and learn what is expected of you or ask when you're in a different place you're not familiar with, because otherwise you'll stir people's emotions. And so be a good guest. Otherwise, people might lose faith and devotion.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
So then 94. Sandra, please, 94.
I should not give directions with one finger, but instead indicate the way respectfully with my right arm, with all my fingers fully outstretched. So I think you demonstrated like something like this. It's just very graceful and yeah, I mean, it's common for regular people not to be kind of told not to point with their fingers, but this is a whole nother level of grace.
So giving the answers, what ask people question for you, right? Then ask the road, which directions, and where is the things to get something that needed to help. So you have to give an answer politely giving to them. So 95, go back to Mary again.
Nor should I wildly wave my arms about, but should make my point with slight gestures and a snap of the finger. Otherwise, I shall lose control. It's kind of the same lessons in politeness. Don't be over aggressive and disturb people with being loud when they're in a quiet place. You get all stirred up. It's different in Italy, I think, but I'm not sure. They seem to wave their arms a lot. But anyway, what their point is be mindful of the culture that you're in and be respectful.
Yes. So the 94 is also like more outside, 95 is kind of like more inside in the house.
Yes. Use your inside voice.
Yeah, so then use single names. Otherwise, as long as you are in outside, this doesn't work very well. Okay, so now 96, Debbie, please.
96, just as the Buddha lie down to pass away, so should I lie in the desired direction when going to sleep. And first of all, with alertness, make the firm decision to quickly rise again. So this is a continuation of conduct in daily life. And this is the decision to mindfully go to sleep and mindfully wake up. So you don't just collapse into the bed, but you actually mindfully understand that you're lying down and you're going to sleep, and you lie down in the way that the Buddha lied down when he passed away. So you have alertness, your mind is alert and mindful. In the same way, when you rise, that you don't just jump out of bed, you take the time to open your eyes, you are mindful that you're waking up. So it's awareness and alertness.
Good, thank you.
Need to practice this one.
97. Amanda, can you read 97?
Although I'm unable to practice all the limitless varieties of Bodhisattva conduct, I should certainly practice as much as has been mentioned here of this conduct that trains the mind. So I think Shantideva is saying use his teachings to train the mind. There are lots of conduct teachings in the sutras, and we can't really commit to all of those. So use what he's given us, what he teaches here in this text, and that is okay. And be sure not to point to others' mistakes. Just look at our own, is what I have in my notes, which is always good advice.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone okay? That's one, right? So then 98, Senda, please.
3 times by day and 3 times by night, I should recite the Sutra of the 3 heaps, for by relying upon the Buddhas and the awakening mind, my remaining downfalls will be purified. So this sutra, it has 3 parts. It has confession, rejoicing, and dedication. It's kind of like, I think you said you could read this sutra or you could do Vajrasattva practice. It's a way to purify any wrongdoings each day. So, I mean, especially if you do this before you go to sleep, you've cleaned up anything that might have happened each day.
Yes, great, thank you. So 99. 99, Thomas, please.
Yes, Kempo. Whatever I am doing in any situation, whether for myself or for the benefit of others, I should strive to put into practice whatever has been taught for this situation. Well, depending upon the situation, for myself or for others, I should practice what has been taught to me. And whatever situation that I may be, I should use the right skillful means to benefit others.
Good, thank you. Everyone okay? Yeah. 100, 100 ADG.
There is no such thing as something that is not learned by a conqueror's son. Thus, if I am skilled in living in this way, nothing will be non-meritorious. If you're if you're I saw when you're beginning, I mean, you can only do as well as you can, but when you are a fully and totally knowledgeable conqueror's son, then there's nothing that you can do that would be non-virtuous. Everything would be virtuous. So to reach that point, we need to study and in the meantime, do the best we can with the skills and ability that we do have.
Good.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. So the Bodhisattvas just learn everything. They must have to have a wisdom, and then they can do everything is for benefit others. So have to gain the wisdom, then can benefit others. Nothing will be no merit as everything is become create accumulation merit. 101. 101, David.
Me, Kempo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 101. Whatever directly or indirectly, I should not do anything that is not for the benefit of others. And solely for the sake of sentient being, I should dedicate everything toward awakening. Is that we're going to try to avoid to do harm to others and don't do that and just work for the benefit of other people to have the virtual deeds and also to awakening and create the merits to go in that direction.
Okay. Good. So we dedication for others, right? What we do good things.
Yeah, try always to work for the benefit of others the best we can.
Whether directly or indirectly. So
Directly,
directly create virtues, indirectly create virtuous.
yes.
Directly stop no virtuous, indirectly stop no virtuous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever we do is like only benefit others. Then dedication for others. Great. 120. Send up, please.
Never, even at the cost of my life, should I forsake a spiritual friend who is wise in the meaning of the great vehicle and who is a great Bodhisattva practitioner. I don't, I don't really know what it means besides,
Mm.
I mean, what does it mean to forsake them? Does it mean like you're turning your back on the Vajrayana? I mean, I don't really understand.
So the first one's never even at the cost of my life is promise, right? Like you're kind of like say, okay, even like that can't happening. Should I forsake a spiritual friend? Means teacher who is wise in the meaning of the great vehicle, Dharma is a practice this way of a Bodhisattva who is a great Bodhisattva practitioner, not giving up these things.
Not losing devotion, not giving up.
Yeah, not giving up. Actually, tapar gave she ni teaching to give us Sanju some to so Matango. Yeah, it's the main point is we never even at the cost of my life giving up, right? For what we not going to giving up is spiritual teacher, like actually Tibetan is like spiritual teacher who knows, who has wisdom about for Mahayana teaching, way of Bodhisattvas, who has who practice Bodhisattva, that kind of spiritual we have to rely on. So we never going to give up that at the cost of my life. Make sense? Okay, thank you. Then 103. Debe corner, please. 103.
I should practice entrusting myself to my spiritual master in the manner taught in the biography of Sri Sambhava. This and other advice spoken by the Buddha I can understand through reading the sutras, and I haven't looked up that one, so that is definitely our homework to find these sutras. You use the analogy of our Lama, our spiritual teacher, is a doctor. We use the patient, the Dharma is the medicine. And that is supposed to be, like I said, I haven't looked it up, but that is that the analogy that's outlined in that particular sutra?
You asked question, right? I didn't hear that part.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, I don't think the microphone on this thing is very good, but is the Sutra of Sri Sambhava, is that where he uses an analogy of the practitioner being the patient, that the Lama is your doctor?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that I got that one right.
Yes. Yeah, so in that sutra, they talk about is we have to recognize ourselves as a patient. Teacher is the same as a doctor. Dharma is the same as medicine. And we practice Dharma is the same as taking care, like recovering the sickness, disease. So that kind of way I have to rely on to this Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Well, our Lama is, we owe you, like, I owe you my life. I mean, basically, our teachers, you've given us a real life. And in future lives, this is we have to recognize how profound that connection is. We can't turn our back on you because your teaching is part of us.
Understand through reading these sutras. So we have to know through the sutras.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 904, 904. 904 is Lisa. Can you read it, Lisa?
I should read the sutras because it is from them that the practices appear. To begin with, I should look at the sutra of Ashagarbha. This sutra is about the Bodhisattva's conduct. And also this morning you said to refer to verse 99 when we look at this verse. To contemplate, examine, what is a benefit in this situation.
Okay, so that's main point. Buddha said we have to read the Sutra of Akashangarbha first, right?
Yes.
So have to know the more Bodhisattva conduct.
Yes.
Practice Bodhisattva. Okay. So 105.
I have a general question. It's okay.
Yes.
Sometimes when I'm going through, sadhana or readings or whatever, I'll find something that triggers me to go look it up in a sutra. So I do a sutra search and I start reading the sutra and I find something that seems to be the right answer. So now my question is different people can read the same sutra and get different answers depending on, I guess, your ability, your knowledge, or whatever. So is it correct to look into or read sutras with your current level of ability and rely on the answers that you get?
Yes. Yes. That's Shakti said, read the other sutras.
Yes.
You have time and you can do that. If there's no time and that's too much for you, then he said, stick with this way of a Bodhisattva. The way of a Bodhisattva, you really cannot take care of all these things, but just control your mind, use mind for alertness. Yeah. 155, no, sorry, 105, right? Verses 105. Debe, can you read Debe Jagsang, please?
Sure. In addition, I should definitely read the compendium of all practices again and again, because what is to be constantly practiced is very well and extensively shown there. And he mentioned this text in his teaching, and you told a story that the students didn't know what this compendium of practice was. And then when Shantideva floated away after he did this teaching on emptiness, and then they had to find him. And then when they found him, they said, "Where's this text?" And he said, "Well, it's in my room, like kind of up in the ceiling between these rafters." And so when he had started to teach the way of the Bodhisattva, he said, I'm not going to teach something too long. I'm going to teach not something too short. I'm just going to teach the right amount, which became the way of the Bodhisattva. But he definitely said, you should actually go back to my room and get this text and read more detail about the way of the Bodhisattva.
Yes. Thank you. Then you read the next one too.
Oh, okay, sure. Also, I should sometimes look at the condensed compendium of all sutras, and I should make an effort to study the works by the same two titles composed by the exalted Nagarjuna. So here again, he didn't want to teach something too long and he didn't want to teach something too short. So he practiced the Mahayana, the middle way. And so he taught just the right amount with the way of the Bodhisattva. But you can also have the shorter compendium to look at too. So he also created that for those that were interested. But then he also said that Nagarjuna, who was the first abbot and came before Shantideva, he said, you should study his teachings as well. So that would be very important to do. So he's giving advice on how people can learn more than just what he taught.
Yeah, thank you. Clarify everything. Thanks. So then.
No, you did that, Kempo. You said all that. I just repeated it. Thank you very much.
Good job. So 7107. Amanda, please, can you explain that one?
I should do whatever is not forbidden in those works. And when I see a practice there, I should impeccably put it into action in order to guard the minds of worldly people. I think that this is the conclusion. So guide your mind and others with good conduct. So if Buddha says you should not do something, then don't do it. Follow the practices that Buddha says to practice for good conduct. If something isn't mentioned clearly, then follow good conduct that's taught in the text. And then I have a little note. This is really beautiful. So practicing the way of a bodhisattva also guides the minds of worldly beings. So I think I wanted to ask you about that. I think that's through the that it. Is that correct?
Your voice cutting. I didn't hear the some part. The last part. The last part.
Okay, my internet.
Yeah, you did it.
So practicing
your questions I didn't hear.
Practicing the way of the bodhisattva guides the minds of worldly beings through Buddha's compassion. Is that correct? Through the power of bodhicitta and Buddha's compassion.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it's so follow the way of Bodhisattva and guide the other beings. Yes.
Is it guide them, Kempo, or guard? I wrote down guard. I wasn't sure.
What is the difference? You mean guard?
Guard the minds of people, like
yes.
Protect them. Or are you guiding them? Are you telling them how to do something, or are you protecting their minds from doing so?
No, we have to practice ourselves, guide ourselves, taking care of other beings' mind.
Thank you for clarifying. I had that wrong.
Okay.
Good question. Yeah, it's very similar. Thank you.
Thank you. So now 8108, Mary, please.
The defining characteristics of guarding alertness in brief is only this: to examine again and again the condition of my body and mind. That's it in a nutshell. Just keep looking at the condition of your own mind. I think that's sort of what it just says, you know. Always ask the state of your mind.
Yeah, so this chapter is which chapter?
Guarding alertness?
Yeah, alertness. So have to use the alertness.
Yes. Yeah. Ask yourself, what is the state of your mind?
Yeah. And then 9, the after 109, Thomas, please.
Yes, Kim. Therefore, I shall put this way of life into actual practice. For what can be achieved by merely talking about it? Will a sick man be benefited merely by reading the medical text? Practice what has been taught. Put it into action. Let's put effort into our practice. Give medicine to the sick. Give food to the hungry. Give accordingly to what will benefit others.
Yes. So we have to practice, right? Main point, we have to practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, practice. If without practice, then only just hear this words, but then no using is nothing benefit.
That's right. Just words, empty words.
Yeah, I have to practice actually. Like we have to read again, you know, these prayers, way of a Bodhisattva, and kind of like have to stuck these words in the heads.
That's right, Kempo. It's exactly right.
Oh, wonderful. You can practice more.
That's right. That's right.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kempo.
Now I'm going to do the prayer dedication. I think Mary Lane is not here, so I don't think so anyone can share the prayers. I'm going to chant the Tibetan. So no choice, yeah? I'm going to chant Tibetan. You know the prayer, which one we're going to do?
That's perfect, Kempo.
Okay. Ema ho ngom zara sanje nawan da ye se jo tu je jembo dang yong de sen ban de jen do nam la san je san sen ba min kor ji kor de je ngom zara ba de me ba ye de wa ji yi sa we shen gam de da yin de ne zen bu jir ma da je wa yin je par ma ju ba re de re jin ne nan de xiang dong yuan de ge da ge mu lan da ban de so je san sen dang je ge men de ba re xin je la de so Tiya da ben zan de ya awan bo de na ye zo hai san jo sem jo ren bo che ma ji pa nam ji jo ro ji pa nyam ba me ba yang kong ni kong den pe wa re xiu so nam de ye tam je zi ba nye tom nan yin be zhang nam bam ze de Ji gan nan jie ba lan zhu ba ye zi ben zo len zhou wai zhou wa re xiu jiang ba ra ba wei jie da ran qian ba dan gen de zang bo de yan de yin de da gen jie ji se da lo jian ge wan de da tam jie ra de ngo Xi zai gen zai gen jin qi jie jie zem zhe ne lai wang dui zhi gong ba 人间百劫等百姓的百，协助的三公本真觉界。Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Good
Kempo.
evening. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Kempo.
I have a teaching morning at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Go to bed early.
Bye.
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 Thank you again, Kempo.